Hi, I'm Jamie Hecht. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and psychoanalyst in private practice in Brooklyn, New York. I'm seeing the same fight play out over and over again in couple after couple. Not all fights reduced to this one, but this keeps repeating itself in thousands and thousands of different disguises in lots and lots of different couples, particularly couples where there's a man and a woman. And in this fight, each person has one central core question which has remained painfully unanswered as the years have gone by. And in general, not always, it tends to be the case that the woman's core question, unanswered all these years, is do I matter or not? Do I really count? Have I my own boundaries, prerogatives, choices? Does my point of view matter? Will I gain a hearing? Have I any actionable input to a decision-making process? Or can others do whatever they want to me? Now, the paranoid fantasy is I have no boundaries and every scrap of success or contribution that I can possibly effectuate has to be done through my utmost efforts or I'll wind up with nothing. For some women, that's reality. For many, that's what reality feels like. For still others, no such thing is the case inside or out, and they walk through the world with confidence and self-knowledge. Thousands of nuances along that spectrum, but the core question is, do I count or not? For the man, very often the core question is, am I good or bad? If I'm bad, I can never hope for respect, honor, inclusion, people seeking out the pleasure of my company and the value of what I might contribute to a decision-making process or an evening's entertainment or a joyful day. I will be frozen to outer darkness on the periphery of the human community, languishing in miserable solitude because I am bad and not good. The way that this couple fight goes is the woman feels slighted by whatever it is the man says or does. He's preoccupied with his goodness and is probably busy manufacturing evidence that he's good. And she feels ignored by that. He's thinking about himself. He's thinking about his goodness. He's thinking about whether she values him or not. But the way he comes off is self-absorbed. She feels ignored by that as if she doesn't matter. So she protests or she pulls for acknowledgement from him to elicit from him evidence that she matters. He hears that effort as an attack on his character. He hears her effort to gain recognition of her value as an attack on his failure to produce that recognition. He defends himself. Yes, I'm good. Yes, I value you. Of course I do. How could you doubt that? Do you think I am so worthless as to fail to value you? He's still preoccupied with his character, so he continues to defend himself. And she feels undervalued by that because instead of successfully telling her he values her and that she matters to him in a way that he can really say and she can really take in, he defends his character. She hears his preoccupation with his own moral worth as a failure to notice that she exists, a failure to prioritize her needs, and so she protests against this. He hears that too as an attack on his character, and around they go, chasing after one another in a circle. What is the way out of this cycle? For each of them to answer the painfully, chronically unanswered question by themselves. For the woman to answer in the mirror, yes, of course I am valuable. Yes, of course I count. Yes, of course I matter. Yes, of course I am a human being in full, like everyone else. Then she's not worried about it. And if she ever feels slighted, instead of getting hurt or angry, she would get uninterested and go invest her attention somewhere where it will repay her investment more readily. He, for his part, has to answer the question in the mirror. Yes, I'm a good person. Of course I am. I make mistakes. I have regrets. I do things I shouldn't. Things go wrong for me sometimes. But as for my nature, yeah, I'm a decent human being. I know that. If others don't, that's their problem. Once each person has answered his or her core question in the affirmative, yes, I matter, yes, I'm good, the other person's behavior is no longer so intoxicating, so triggering, and the person can then self-regulate and think clearly, asking him or herself, what is it that this partner whom I love most needs to see and hear from me? What can I contribute that will get this other person back on track so we can be close again? A question which is impossible to answer or even to ask while you're consumed with pain or rage or misery or resentment because you are misunderstanding the other person as giving you the bad answer to your unanswered question when they're really only trying to ask you their unanswered question. If that interests you as a way of understanding conflict in couples and you'd like to book a session, consider contacting me at the website below or at this phone number. All the best.